are just walking off, thinking it's okay Tuesday, and they want to go visit the Trump. They want to blame the Trump administration.
Infamous, show us that you're black again.
He said, show us that you're black again. Show us that you're black again.
Bro, I don't need it. Bro, I'm not in a zoo, man.
Why would they do that?
Show us that you're black again.
Me like I'm some kind of zoo animal, man. I'm not gonna dance. I'm not gonna dance.
Infamous Russell Wilson, goddamn.
We have Democrats blaming ICE. I'm tired. My people are suffering. I'm scared for my little brother. My people are suffering, and these people just walk off. We have a...
On his Truth Social account that briefly depicted former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama as monkeys. The clip contained claims a graphic questioning President Joe Biden's win in Pennsylvania in the 2020 presidential election. However, at the 59-second mark, an AI-generated image of Obama's face superimposed onto a monkey's body and suddenly appears as the song "The Lion Sleeps Tonight," and then it quickly goes back to the video. So it's like a small little snippet of it, of them being monkeys.
This racist video that was posted on your social media.
I know a hell of a lot better than you do. You don't know what's going on. I know what's going on. No, Joe Biden didn't have a clue, but we know everything. And when you look at what's happening with our economy, think of it, we're way years ahead of schedule. We have thousands and thousands of businesses being built right now. So Joe Biden had no clue. If Joe Biden were elected, or if Kamala were elected, we wouldn't have a country right now.
You won the election because of minority voters. Does this post maybe hurt Republicans with, black voters after the...
I think, look, we did criminal justice reform. I did the...
That's bad.
That's bad. Oh, no, play the phone clip, bro.
Hold on, bro. This monkey's flying.
They got Timon and Pumbaa. Oh, this is like lion.
Yesterday, folks immediately rushed out to suggest that the
historically black colleges and universities, I got them funded. Nobody has been, and that's why I got the highest vote with male black voters that they've seen in many, many decades. I've done great with the black voters. Have been great to me. I've been great to them. Black voters have been great to me. I've been great to them. And I am, by the way, the least racist president you've had in a long time, as far as I'm concerned. We have, I've had a great relation. Think of what I've done. Criminal justice reform. Nobody else could do it. Obama couldn't do it. Nobody could do it. Clinton couldn't do it. They actually went the other way. They went into a very bad thing for African-American people, black people. They did very bad things. I did very good things. But criminal justice reform, and then I funded the universities, which nobody else was willing to do. They were going every year. They'd come back to Washington and they'd be begging for money, begging. I got to be friendly with some of the heads of the schools, and they would come back and they would literally tell me they're forcing us to beg. I'm the one that got them long-term financing and more than they were looking for. So there's nobody that's done more. And I think maybe more than anything else was criminal justice reform. They've been trying to get it for years. And I'm the one that got it done, so nobody can tell me about that. That somebody posts a staffer, post, and I knew it was all about. If you take a look at that and see the whole thing, it was a small section at the very end, but that was about fraudulent elections, which we have a lot of them. We're going to.
Ladies and gentlemen, now I have to be very careful what I say. I had a previous live. Same title and all. And it got taken down. Now, I believe it got taken down because I was going in on former President Joe Biden on the scene of what he was doing to that banana. So we're going to have to be very selective with our words and give proper criticism, because I'm not trying to have my channel have any type of backlash over a video. That's some crazy work. Same title, same thumbnail, but we're going to have different choice of words in this current video. Going to have to still give our critique, but not go too crazy. YouTube is watching, ladies and gentlemen. I am a small time YouTuber. How in the world do I get attacked for cyberbullying and harassment? What did I say? Talk about censorship. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank every single one of y'all in the content, but we're going to have to, and I wasn't even cursing. I believe it's the scene, is that video clip of that cartoon, and I kept on pausing when Joe Biden was doing the pause. Let's go back into the content before this video gets taken down. I want to thank every single one of y'all in the building. Once again, going to have to be very careful with my choice of words because YouTube is watching. Now, shout out to YouTube. Without YouTube, I wouldn't be able to give my opinion, give my take, and I also want to be able to share this platform with y'all. So shout out to YouTube. But yeah, gonna have to be very selective.
Get it stopped. And I liked the beginning. I saw it and just passed it on. And I guess probably nobody reviewed the end of it because what I saw at the beginning was really, really strong. It was about fraudulent elections. And anytime I see that stuff and when it's credible, you put it up. But somebody slipped and missed a very small part. Now, by the way, again, the takeoff one, I guess, I didn't do it, by the way. This was done by somebody else. This was a retruth. That was not done by us. But that was a very strong truth. It was a very strong statement made about the fraudulent elections in a certain part of our country, which are really bad.
President, at the very least, do you condemn the racist parts of the video?
Of course I do. Yeah.
We
We have two great teams. And Bob Kraft is a...
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all we're going to get right there. We're not going to get a full apology, but he does say, for the record, he does condemn the racist part of the video. That's all that we can get from President Trump.
The video?
Of course I do. Yeah. It was not done by us. But that was a very strong truth. It was a very strong statement made about the fraudulent elections in a certain part of our country, which are really bad.
President, at the very least, do you condemn the racist parts of the video?
Of course I do. Yeah. We have two great teams. And Bob Kraft is a fabulous owner, a friend of mine. New England's amazing that they're there. Who would think? It's like a second, you can't say dynasty yet. They had a dynasty. You have to win a lot of games before.
For the record, New England had no business at the Super Bowl. Let's keep it a bean. They barely struggled to beat the Houston Texans with a trash CJ Stroud throwing 4 picks that game. So yeah, it was a no-brainer. Seattle was going to win. Tip your hat to Seattle. Sam Darnold was once written off, came from the Jets. Vikings released him, and now he's a Super Bowl champion. Now, I took the best nap of my life. Did I watch the Super Bowl? Absolutely not. I'm going to recharge and get ready for the week. Sports is just not the same. But yes, shout out to Sam Darnold for being a Super Bowl champion when the whole world and the naysayers and the critics was on his back saying that he's going to turn to the same old Sam Darnold again. At the end of the day, he still got now he missed a lot of great opportunities to increase the score. I think at least 3 open touchdowns, but nevertheless, he is a Super Bowl champion.
You create another one, but I think it's going to be a great game. There's a lot of interesting storylines. It's going to be very interesting.
What's the message to the many Americans who were offended by the video? What do you want to tell those Americans?
I didn't know about it, so I mean, it went up. I really have no.
He said he did not know about it, but yet he reposted it on his Twitter. So take heed of this message, ladies and gentlemen. If you have something to lose and you're reposting something on your social media account, watch the whole video before you repost it, because you will be guilty by association. Now, Trump, he did not make the video that got my whole content taken down, because I had a live stream prior to this one. This is my second attempt, so we're going to have to keep it YouTube friendly. But this man reposted a cartoon on his platform, and he's taking heat for it, but he didn't even make the video. He was retweeting the video because of what the message was portraying, exposing fraud. Because as we know it, ladies and gentlemen, in Minnesota, fraud is going crazy. These Somalis are scamming the taxpayers' dollar with the open thong tandles, big toe out and all, capitalizing off the hard work back of the American taxpayer. So Trump is exposing this. And ladies and gentlemen, please let me know in the comment section, in this era that you've been in live and God's green earth, in this era, who is the best president in your lifetime? Is it Bush, the first one, or the second one? I mean, they both went to war. Is it Clinton, quotation mark, the first black president? Is it Reagan? Is that the best president in your lifetime? I'm not talking about of all time. I'm talking about 80s and up, respectfully. Who is the best POTUS of your lifetime? Trump, regardless of how you feel about the man, he's making a lot of changes. How many aliens are in America, ladies and gentlemen? You have this woman passing away for Somalis. Rest in peace to her. Now, this was self-inflicted. Nobody told her to press the gas towards a government official. Some crazy work. If you just would comply and listen to somebody, you still would be here today. We had so many illegal aliens, and now their bank accounts are frozen. They can't do nothing with the scam money that they finesse. Under Joe Biden, I mean, it's not these Somalis that's doing the scam, ladies and gentlemen. It's the people that's in higher up that's a part of it. This is a pyramid scheme. This is a Ponzi scheme from government officials. So Trump is exposing all that. So please let me know in the comment section, who is the best president of all time and from your era, excuse me, from 80s and up, who is the best president? Are you going to give it to Bush? Because as we know it, that was, hold on, we're going to have to keep it YouTube friend. I can't even say what I want to say. YouTube, they got me on hush right now. I have to appeal. I'm waiting for the appeal decision. I just got this less than an hour ago. I appealed it, ladies and gentlemen. So hold on, back to the content. I'm gonna thank every single one of y'all in the building. Also, Dominicana, pero ya tú sabe. They got me censored, ladies and gentlemen. I can't even say what I want to say. I had a whole live stream to speak my mind, not even cursing, and they took down the whole live. That's some crazy work. You got all type of content. People cursing each other out, calling each other's mama's names, this, that, and the third. I'm over here exposing what's going on, and they talking about harassment and bullying. This goes to show, ladies and gentlemen, that they're here for the entertainment, but when it comes down, when shit hits the fan, hold on now. Shout out to YouTube, though. Awesome platform. And ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, create a YouTube channel. Absolutely. Get back into the content, ladies and gentlemen.
Message. All I know is, here's my message, and our country has never been in a position like this. We were a laughing stock all over the world, and now we're a country that's respected more than we've ever been respected before. If you go back a year and a half ago, our country was a laughing stock. And now we're respected all over the world, like probably almost never before. I would say maybe like never before. And, you know, it's, if you look at it from an economic standpoint, the King of Saudi Arabia said it, others said it, we were not a country that was even thought of as a country that was going to make it back. And in 1 year, we're the hottest country. We are right now the hottest country anywhere in the world. So that's my message.
Mistake by a staffer. So by midday Friday, the video was taken down, and a White House official told The Hill the post was shared by mistake. Quote, a White House staffer erroneously made the post. It has been taken down. End quote, the White House official said. So if you mean the White House staffer named Donald Trump, that's correct. He is the one who posted it and the one who likely took it down. They did not come to this about face until, well, it was exposed that only 3 people have access to the account, one of them being Trump. Another one was on vacation, and well, there you have it. But he's doubling down now, denying any wrongdoing and admitting that he signed off on the video to be posted. Listen to this.
Media post that you took down earlier today, the White House says that a staffer sent it. Who sent it, and are you going to fire them?
I looked at it, I saw it, and I just looked at the first part. It was about voter fraud in someplace, Georgia. There was a lot of voter fraud, 2020 voter fraud, and I didn't see the whole thing. I guess during the end of it, there was some kind of a that people don't like. I wouldn't like it either, but I didn't see it. I looked at the first part, then I gave it to the people. So generally, they look at the whole thing, but I guess somebody didn't, and they posted, and we took it down, and we did it. You know.
And a number of Republicans are calling on you to apologize for that post. Is that something you're going to do?
No, I didn't make a mistake. I mean, I look at a lot of thousands of things. Black voters have been great to me. I've been great to them. And I am, by the way, the least racist president you've had in a long time, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, as far as he's concerned, okay? He's not going to apologize for the offense. He's not going to apologize for making a mistake. He says he did not make a mistake. He says, well, somebody didn't look at it. Well, that would be him. And I don't believe he didn't look at it. I think he did. The reaction has been interesting. Senator Tim Scott saying, this is the most racist thing I've seen from this White House. Well, what's the second most racist? Tim, how about the third? We probably agree on something here because you told us that America is not a racist country. Now you are saying that from the very power of the institution of the presidency, racism spews. Tim Scott says, praying it was fake because it's the most racist thing I've seen out of this White House. The president should remove it. Sir, the only thing fake is your outrage. That's the only thing fake here. This man gutted your programs to help small business owners in rural areas who happen to be Black. He gutted that. It was your signature legislation. Praised by people on both sides of the political aisle and effective. He gutted it. Why? Because I had the word Black in it. Despite there being some people who did say, hey, Trump has gone too far. Some Republicans have said that. Other Republicans, however, rushed to the defense of Donald Trump, including, ironically, Mike Damn Tyson.
My whole experience with President Trump is that he's just a genuine, real person. If he got your back, he's with you 100%.
Yeah, he's a loyal guy.
That's my experience with him. That's my experience with him, yeah. That's why I'm for him 100% because he's never been nothing but for me.
Yeah, all right, we can bypass that. Among others defending Trump, you have Reverend Jordan Wells, who tweeted alongside the video that I'm about to show you that if Trump was literally a Klansman, he would still pick Trump. Here it is.
Somebody sent me a thing saying, well, you know, Trump makes such racist remarks, and then he sent me this new video. First of all, you got to watch the whole video because it didn't look, first of all, it was a whole video and they just took the part out. But that's beside the point. I wonder if Trump was racist. I would still vote for Trump. Even if Trump was racist, I would still vote for him. Because, which I know he's not, because Trump has done a lot for Black people, whether it's HBCUs or...
That's bad.
That's... Ladies and gentlemen, this is the video that had my previous live stream taken down. Now we're going to criticize without the volume. So as you see here on the screen, we have Barack Obama on top of apes. Now, there was no apes in The Lion King. There was a chimpanzee or a baboon. There was a baboon. There wasn't an ape. So, ladies and gentlemen, if Trump reposted this video with only Barack Obama as apes, I could see how you could feel some type of way. But there's other people besides Barack Obama. It's the whole left. The whole Democratic Party is in this jungle. Right here, you have Hillary Clinton. She is dressed, well, she is on top of a warhog. And then you have, who's the teammate that be next to that, yo, it's, I'm trying to think of the names. It's Simone and Pumbaa, right? They're trying to replicate Simone and Pumbaa.
I be trying to laugh with the bros.
Wow.
Oh, they got Joe.
Pause. YouTube, take it easy on me. I tried to do a whole live stream prior to this one, and you took the whole live stream down. So we're going to do it right this time. Joe Biden, pause. That's all we're going to say in this scene. And I can't even play this clip as much as I did before because I was really clowning. I can't even replay it. I replayed it once already too much, ladies and gentlemen. So here it is. Link is in the description if you want to see the whole video again. I can't play this video again. My channel is on watch. They watching your boy. I'm sweating bullets to play it again. Yo, I was debating, should I go to a whole nother video? And I was cutting some grapefruit, eating some almonds. I know that's a crazy combination. And I was like, nah, bro, make your video. Just keep it clean. Then I was debating, should I play this clip again? And I was like, bruh, just keep it clean and YouTube's gonna rock with you. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on. Let's get this out the screen, first of all.
I be trying to laugh with the bros.
Oh, monkey too.
Whoa.
He's giving more money to HBCUs than almost any president. He's pardoned so many black men. He's done so much for black people. And he's endorsed a lot of black candidates, right? That's not normally what some Republicans do. He endorsed Byron Donalds over a crowded field of white candidates. If he's a racist, he's not a very good one.
Sir, he endorsed Step and Fetch Mr. Sellout himself? What? You're a pastor, and I know your cronies are going to come after me for saying this. Sir, you a damn idiot. You are a coward among cowards. You are a champion of cowards. You see, black women are becoming unemployed at a record rate under this president and his policies. The household median income for black families dwindling, going down under this president. Home ownership for black folk. General unemployment and underemployment for black folk. And also the opportunity for advancement in the workplace. All have become worse under this president. And generally speaking, for Americans, they're paying more on taxes, groceries, and you are too. We all are. We now also have Representative Mike Lawler urging Trump, please apologize.
Look, I think sometimes in our public discourse, it is best to just say, I'm sorry. I take the White House at their word that this was a mistake. But at the end of the day, given the history of our nation.
What is the mistake? Trump didn't make the video. He reposted the video because it was trying to expose fraud, the fraud that's going on in the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, billions of dollars is being transported through TSA, through these airports from Atlanta to Saudi Arabia. Right below our noses, scams going on. Now, you can hold Trump accountable for not watching the video throughout its length and seeing what's going on, because come on now, Barack Obama on top of apes is crazy work. Of all the animals, it could have been the creator could have put Barack Obama on an alligator. But then with that being said, why is Joe Biden, why is he doing pause? I can't even say what I want to say. Why is Joe Biden doing that to the banana? Can't even say what I want to say, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna have to keep it YouTube friendly. Let's go back to the content.
Given the insensitivities with some of the stereotypes that have long been promulgated to attack African Americans, I think it's imperative to recognize that and meet the moment. And, you know, I think sometimes it's just best to say, I'm sorry, and do better.
Well, Trump says it was no mistake. And so he's not saying I'm sorry. And, you know, say I'm sorry and I do better is the advice you give a 5-year-old, not the president of the United States. But you all have decided not to hold him accountable for his own actions. Why would he apologize? He has been financially gutting constituents in your own district since day one, and you allowed him. So naturally, if he won't apologize to you or apologize to the good people that he's ripping off, definitely won't apologize for this. There's more. So there's one Trump voter who did have something to say. Here it is.
I am a registered Republican. My dad was the president of American Pipeliners Association, so I came by it rather naturally. Voted for the president, supported him, but I really want to apologize. I mean, I'm looking at this awful picture of the Obamas. What an embarrassment to our country. All this man does is tell lies. He is not worthy of the presidency. He takes bribes blatantly, and now he's being a racist blatantly. They were supposed to deport the dangerous criminals. They were not supposed to go after small children, storm schools, bring terror upon, you know, the little kids and the women and children, not just the immigrants in the school. All the children are scared. This is not a decent man. This is not an honest man. He openly takes bribes. He's pathetic as a president. And I just want to apologize to everybody in the country for supporting this rotten man.
To that caller, to that person, to that human being, regardless of your politics, I see the humanity in you, and so many others see and respect the humanity in you. There is nothing wrong with saying, I apologize. It's a sign of strength, not weakness. I'm actually thankful.
Ladies and gentlemen, absolutely there is nothing wrong with saying I apologize, but there is something wrong if you're saying it, but you don't mean it. I'd rather Trump actually mean it than for him just to say it just because it sounds good, because this is not customer service where you're forced to say sorry just to appease the customer. Now, this is the president. So if he doesn't feel sorry, don't say sorry. Keep it 10 toes. And that's why I respect the president, because he does not apologize just for approval. He does not do stuff because it looks good, it sounds good. He does what's right for the most part. Now, does he have a lot of skeletons in his closet? Absolutely. But don't we all? Now, not to his magnitude. I mean, we're not, you know, stuff that he said is unquestionable, no doubt. But he keeps it 10 toes down. How many politicians say something but do the opposite? Let's keep it a beam. How many people say, vote for me and you're going to get this, you're going to get that? When they're in office, they're a no-call, no-show. Hold on now, HC. I'm going to have to keep it clean. You cooking now. They're going to try to cancel you.
I be trying to laugh with the bros.
So, once again, Please let me know in the comment section, who was the best president of your lifetime? Was it the first Bush, the second Bush? Was it Clinton? Was it Reagan? Who was the best president of your lifetime? Would you rather prefer Kamala Harris? We did it, Joe. We did it.
I be trying to laugh with the bros.
We did it, Joe. Yet this president's trying to put this country back on the train tracks. And he can't win, right? He just can't win. But let me give y'all a quick gem. If everybody likes you, you're not doing something right. If everybody likes you, you are not doing something right. Let's go back into the content.
That people like you are able to stand in your truth, admit to a bad decision. We've all made them. We've all supported somebody who got into office and did things adverse to what we stood for. You're not the first. Now, maybe this is one of the most significant as far as visually and also national effect, but it's not the first.
That Kamala as a turtle,
bro. Why did he?
I said I wasn't going to replay this video, but here we are. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. So all these members here are a part of the Democratic Party, and there is Joe Biden. Pause. Let's get that off ASAP.
I be trying to laugh with the bros.
Post about, well, President Obama and Michelle Obama. Put it up, full mass. Here we go. Trump posted an AI video of Barack and Michelle Obama as apes in a jungle with the song "The Lion Sleeps Tonight" in the background. And now remember, this is during Black History Month. The Obamas briefly and suddenly appear near the end of the short video, which promotes false claims that voting machines helped steal the 2020 election.
Ladies and gentlemen, the scales was once on our eyes, but they have fallen. They was telling us, the minorities, vote for the Democrats. It doesn't matter who's in office, vote for the Democratic Party. That's what they were saying, right? Man, they're putting people that's not even alive into these voting polls. All these aliens in America, how are they able to vote? And that's what Trump is trying to do. He's trying to take out the bad aliens out of America. Where in the world can you just infiltrate the way that these aliens are coming through the United States? Now, people are going to say, well, this country was built off immigrants. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we have to have some type of structure. We're just going to be in and out like a girl without her mom being home because she's working 3 jobs. She's just wide open. It's wide open America, huh? No type of border, nothing. Now I got my platform tweaking. Man, it's a crazy day to stream today. My platform's tweaking. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen.
With their faces superimposed onto the bodies of apes. As the images appear for about 1 second, the start of the song, "The Lion Sleeps Tonight," plays in the background. The longer version of the video, first published online in October, by the same X account with this watermark. The video Trump shared cast the president as a lion while portraying prominent Democrats and liberals as animal characters from Disney's The Lion King. The longer video also depicts Hillary Clinton as a warthog and the New York mayor, Mondani, as a hyena. The White House does have a response, but I don't want this to get lost in the back and forth. Obviously, it's racist. Obviously, it's bigoted, okay? There's another point in this that goes to what just happened in Fulton County. Once again, they are starting the rhetoric of a stolen election again. They're starting the rhetoric. So this was the genesis of the post about stolen elections from 2020. They just raided the Fulton County voting hub and illegally took voter information that was currently under court review via a motion from the Department of Justice. And instead of waiting for their court review to give them clearance or no clearance in order to do this insanity, they decided to file a criminal warrant against Fulton County and utilize that as their auspices to then steal voter information with the DNI appointee in charge. All right. So the White House has a response. In a response, if you call it that, for a comment from Variety, the White House press secretary, Carolyn Levitt, said in an email statement, quote, "This is from an internet meme video depicting President Trump as the king of the jungle and Democrats as characters from The Lion King. Please stop the fake outrage and report on something today that actually matters to the American public." Levitt also shared the full video, which depicted Hillary Clinton as a boar and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries as a meerkat, but those who were noticeably
This is bad.
Yo, Joe Biden, that's some, pause.
Lion King. There are no apes in The Lion King. There's not one ape. There's a baboon, Rafiki. He is actually central to the story, but there's not one ape in the movie. So let's just be for real right now. There's not an ape in The Lion King. So I would have never put out a statement like that. The one time somebody thought the person I worked for did say something that was racist and inhumane, I went to my principal and encouraged the principal to apologize and explain to them why what they said was problematic, okay? So Eugene, I cannot grasp this. This is the last thing I'll say. It is not racist because it is offensive. It is offensive because it is inherently racist. The trope about depicting black people as animals goes all the way back to white Europeans looking for a justification for colonization and the...
Yo, Barack Obama wasn't the only person in the video. There was the whole Democratic Party as a baboon, as Pumbaa and Simone. You had Kamala Harris as a turtle.
Enslavement.
Now let's keep it a bean. Why was Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, of all the animals, why was they the apes? It could have been the alligator or the pecan Sam or the toucan, whatever.
I be trying to laugh with the bros.
Why of all the animals did you put Barack Obama and Michelle on top of apes? But once again, Trump didn't make the video, ladies and gentlemen. He reposted it. So don't be mad at Trump as if he made it. He reposted the content and quickly removed the content from his platform. As he said, he didn't know that was there. And even if he's capping, he still did not make the video. So let me know in the comment section, is Trump wrong? Let's go back into the content.
Of African people. And it gained prominence in the 1700s and 1800s, and it became a racial, like a scientific theory. I'm using air quotes. And it was a mainstream theory that put a hierarchy that said white Europeans were at the top and Africans were at the bottom, and apes, depiction of apes was very central to this theory. They were at the bottom. They were closer to primitive beings such as apes. Therefore, black people, specifically in that time, Africans, were more better suited for forced labor and domination. So it is racist because the root of this theory, this trope, this joke, okay, that the White House is talking about, is rooted in the ability to dominate, rape, pillage, and inflict violence upon black people.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we got to talk about the latest fake outrage from the left over a meme that President Trump posted on his Truth Social depicting the Obamas as apes and monkeys, right? Now, you know, I guess when you see something like this in isolation, right, to, you know, leftists and liberals and, you know, sensitive folks, it can be offensive. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you guys. When I first saw this, I chuckled a little bit, right? I wasn't butthurt. I was like, okay, you know, let's see exactly why this was posted, right? In the full context, because with anything that Trump does and the liberal media is upset about, you got to look at the full context. You cannot take it in isolation. You got to look at the full context. But the context doesn't matter here because these people are going to cry racism no matter what, right? And I'm just here to let you guys know that, you know, long story short, when it comes to this story and Trump posting this as a black...
These people. Who are these people? The victims? The crybabies? The liberals? Who are you referring to when you say these people?
Black person, and I can't speak for black MAGA, black Republicans, because, you know, there are a lot of people say, what does black MAGA, black Republicans have to say about this? I'll just let you know right now, right? I don't give a
Now, if the shoe fits, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know how that saying goes. Now, does this have any impact in my personal life? Absolutely not. But am I completely ignorant to what's going on? No, I am not. Once again, Trump did not make the video, so I'm not going to blame Trump. I am going to blame Trump for not watching the video and then saying that he didn't watch it. That's very careless, especially being the POTUS. You have to be very careful because as we know it, you have everything to lose and everybody's going to point the finger. The moment they have a chance, they're going to try to scrutinize you. So that's a poor representation on the HR team. Whoever made that video, they put Donald Trump as the main guy. That's some crazy work. It wasn't even him that made the video, ladies and gentlemen. Here's my second thing. Why is Barack Obama and Michelle Obama on top of apes? But do you know some crazy work is that people want to say there was no apes in the movie Lion King? Well, duh. Of course there wasn't an actual ape. There was a baboon, ape, tomato. But this is what the question that should be asked. Why did Barack Obama, why is his face on top of an ape? Why is that? He could have been on top of an alligator or he could have been a snake. What's wrong with putting Obama on his head with the body as a snake? If you want to throw some slugs, if you want to throw some shots. So that's what I'm saying. Was this by accident? He could have been a sloth. Why was your head on top of an ape? Because I'm looking at from two sides. I'm looking at from the side that the whole Democratic Party was getting cooked. They was on top of, I mean, Kamala Harris, she was a turtle. You got Joe Biden, he was a monkey eating a banana. Pause. So you can also say, well, it's not racist because Joe Biden, he was eating a monkey. He was eating a banana and he was a monkey in the video. But then why is the only black people in the whole Democratic Party, and y'all want to say Kamala Harris is black? Stop the cap. And to keep it at being Barack Obama, he's not even black.
I be trying to laugh with the bros.
They're not going to put a full-blooded African American in office. Y'all really think they're going to put a black brother in office? Stop the cap. Never.
I be trying to laugh with the bros.
So they put the blackest people on top of apes? I'm not going to be ignorant. Now, does this offend me? It does raise my eyebrows. Why are the only black people on top of gorillas, right? Once again, you know how controversial this world is. You could have put the Obamas as slithering snakes.
I be trying to laugh with the bros.
Keep the grass cut so the snakes would show. But you put... Let's go back into the content. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your take on this situation.
Right? I don't give one F, okay? So I just want people to understand how I feel about this. I don't care. But we're going to talk about it because, you know, this is what the liberal media is upset about. So what Trump actually posted was a video about the election, right? And, of course, you know, they don't want to talk about this part of it.
Initiated by a court order, the Michigan investigation team obtained forensic access to a DS-200 tabulator, the machine that counts a vote.
They did not talk about this. All you see all over these social media platforms is Obama on top of a gorilla. But the whole video was a voting scam. They're scamming out here, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what the whole video was about. And they're blaming the Democratic Party for the scam. Now, was it aggressive? Absolutely. They did not have to put Obama on top of a gorilla to get their message across. You could have exposed the scam without putting the black man on top of a gorilla. You cannot be too sensitive to ignore that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to have to call a spade a spade. Why is the blackest man, even though he's not black, why is the blackest man on top of a gorilla? Please answer that.
A Telit 4G wireless chip manufactured in Taiwan was discovered embedded into the motherboard. The voting machine tapes clearly indicate modem engagement and transmission of election data. Some of the anomalies that we noticed in the 2020 general elections, that 5 key states all stopped counting at a certain time in these key battleground states. These were all where the software, Dominion machines, ESNS machines were used, the Smartmatic, the GEMS software. So when the vote stopped counting, and this has been noted in other countries as well, President Trump was significantly ahead. When reporting and counting resumed, there was a massive spike occurred that favored Joe Biden.
Yeah, so as you can see here, right, this video, the original video, was reposted by Trump on Truth Social, but it wasn't a video that he made. Now, it looks like it was one of those videos where somebody may have been screen recording, and then it flipped up to some other random video, because that's what happens, right? If you're screen recording on X, and, you know, you are looking at other videos, it's very easy to, you know, easily flip to the next video, right? That's what it looks like to me, okay? And you can see the original video here, right, in full context. It's not just, you know, the Obamas or whatever, but is also Democrats, right? Democrats. Okay, the title of this video is President Trump, King of the Jungle. So it's a bunch of Democrats as, you know, animals, right? Kamala's a turtle. I think Biden's an orangutan. So, I mean, you know, hey, is that racist, right? Is Biden been orangutan racist, or is it just black folks, right, that are depicted as apes? Is that the only thing that's racist? You have Trump as a lion, right? I think that's the plus-size Democrat influencer, right? You got Harry Sisson, Hakeem Jeffries, Whoopi, right? Harry Sisson. So it's like, yeah, I mean, it's a meme. Now, the White House, they're claiming that Trump didn't actually post this, that some intern or some staffer, right, posted this on Truth, right, on his Truth profile. This is what they're claiming. Take a look.
House is responding to criticism after President Trump posted a video that includes a racist meme depicting former President Obama and his wife Michelle as apes. Now the Senate's only black Republican senator is responding and calling out the White House. ABC's Jay O'Brien's here with more on that. Hi, Jay, what's the latest?
Yeah, Diane, just moments ago, the video was deleted from President Trump's account, and it comes after a growing chorus of Republican lawmakers called on the White House to take the racist image down, including, as you say, Senator Tim Scott, who posted the image in addition to his post. ABC is not showing the image, but we are showing you the post, and it says, quote, praying it was fake because it's the most racist thing I've seen out of this White House. The president should remove it. The racist image comes at the end of a minute-long video the president posted on his social media platform. The first 59 seconds describe debunk election conspiracy theories from 2020, and at the end, the video suddenly cuts to an animated meme showing the Obamas' faces on the bodies of apes. The NAACP is out with a statement saying, in part, quote, Donald Trump's video is blatantly racist, disgusting, and utterly despicable, end quote. That again from the NAACP. Images of black people as apes have been used throughout American history to dehumanize them. Slave traders and segregationists use these types of images to depict black people as inferior, and at times it's led to violence. Initially, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said in a statement, quote, this is from an internet meme depicting President Trump as the king of the jungle and Democrats as characters from The Lion King. Please stop the fake outrage and report on something today that actually matters to the American public, end quote. But again, since that statement, the video now appears to have been deleted, and the White House is now saying from an anonymous staffer, quote, that they erroneously made the post.
Reposting a racist meme is not an excuse for posting something racist, the fact that it was a meme. Second, he only posted the part of that meme video that featured the Obamas, not any other part of it. Third, one does have to wonder about the worldview of the meme maker, given that there are no apes in The Lion King. For those wondering, Rafiki's a mandrill.
When you saw this image, if we can put it up, it's an awful image of the Obamas that the president put out. According to Sam Stein, it has been the White House has taken it down. But your thoughts?
I saw some people arguing, do you think that he really posted this? Do you think, yeah, of course I think he really posted that. Your default position should not be maybe he didn't. Your default position should be to understand why he definitely did. There's a lot of people that say Donald Trump ushered in this new age of white supremacy, that Donald Trump ushered in hate and all this stuff. And that's not true. Hate ushered in Donald Trump. White supremacy ushered in Donald Trump.
The idea that anyone would post a video like that, let alone the president of the United States, someone who's supposed to find ways to bring us together, someone who's supposed to appeal to our better angels, this guy seems to always find a lower and lower common denominator. Here in Pennsylvania, we respect all people, no matter what they look like, where they come from, who they love, who they pray to, who they choose not to pray to. We don't scapegoat others, and we certainly don't peddle in racist videos and other racist statements like this president has made. He needs to do better, and I think the good people of Pennsylvania recognize that. We're a Commonwealth that was founded by William Penn as a place that would be warm and welcoming for all. I take it very seriously, and I know the elected leaders take it very seriously here, that we be a place that is welcoming for all. And the president's conduct, once again, unfortunately, erodes that, but we're not going to let him win on that. We're going to appeal to our better angels, and we're going to do the right thing here. And we're not going to get sucked down into the depths that this president seems to reach for each day.
So, again, I just want you guys to understand. I am not like some of these other people, right? Some of these Republicans, including black Republicans, black conservatives, whatever, that's going to come out here and say, oh, what the president posted was racist. He needs to apologize. This is not a good look. Right? Nah, that's not me. It's not me. I'm just not going to do it. Right? And I'm going to explain to you why I'm not going to do it, because one, I'm not offended. Right? Let's keep it one. I'm not offended. Clearly, it was an accident. Clearly, it was not something that was done on purpose, right? There was no real intent behind it. Now, I guess you can argue that the president and his truth post, right, should be thoroughly vetted before he posts something like that. But we already know that Trump's truth posts are, not, censored, right, for the most part. So the thing is like, this is not new, right? This is not out of the blue. This is not out of the ordinary for me. It's like, okay, yeah, I mean, the president's posts are pretty again, pretty raw, right, for the most part. And, you know, when you post stuff that is pretty raw, sometimes you're going to make mistakes, right? Clearly, his posts aren't super vetted all the time, right? That's just what it is. They claim that some staffer posted it. I don't know. And I really don't care if Trump posted it or staffer posted it. At the end of the day, I am not offended. And I'm not going to engage in the performative outrage along with people who, in my opinion, have no leg to stand on when it comes to these issues about racism, hate, and bigotry, right? I'm not going to engage in performative outrage with the same people who laughed while justifying Charlie Kirk being assassinated. No, I'm not going to perform that type of outrage. I'm not going to engage in performative outrage for the same people who were totally fine with Joe Biden saying, hey, if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black, right? You remember Joe Biden, super predators? You remember that, right? Everybody remembers that. These people had no problems with it. They had no problems when Hillary Clinton was on the Breakfast Club talking about she keep hot sauce in her bag everywhere she goes, right? Black people too dumb to vote, okay? Or use a computer. You got Graham Plattner, who's running for Senate in Maine, running around with a Nazi tattoo, like literally a Nazi tattoo. Running around with a Nazi tattoo, okay? Nazi tattoo. No, I'm not getting on board with fake performative outrage with the same people who decided that it's totally fine, it's totally okay to vote for Jay Jones. Okay, the same guy who openly fantasized in text message about killing Republicans and their children, right? Democrats, when they were confronted about him and denouncing him, what do? What do? You talk about a guy in private text messages running for attorney general, top cop in Virginia. What did prominent Democrats do when this was exposed to the public that he was openly fantasizing about killing Republicans and their children? What was Democrats in their response?
Thank you, Ms. Bamberger. I didn't hear an answer there on the endorsement issue, so I want to just make sure. Will you continue to endorse Jay Jones to be the next Attorney General of Virginia? And were you aware of these text messages before they released? You have 30 seconds.
In fact, it appears that it was those who released the text messages and held them for years. So the public was unaware who had knowledge of these text messages for many years.
What did you do about
I
it?
learned of these text messages the day that they came out, and I denounced them as soon as I learned of them.
She denounces murder.
And importantly, at this point, as we move forward, the voters now have this information that was withheld for them,
You're running to
presumably for
Ms. Earl
political
Sayers,
reasons. But the voters now have the information, and it is up to voters to make an individual choice based on this information.
Ms. Bamberger, I understand what you're saying about the voters, but for you yourself, do you still continue to endorse Jay Jones? 15 seconds, yes or no?
We are all running our individual races. I believe my opponent has said that about her lieutenant governor nominee.
Ms. Earl Sayers,
and it's up to every person to make their own decision. I am running my race to serve Virginia, and that is what I intend.
A scandal over text messages in which he, the Democrat, said that the GOP Speaker of the House of Delegates should get 2 bullets to the head for how he paid tribute to a former moderate Democratic lawmaker who died. He has apologized. Should he get out of the race?
Well, that's up to the people, the leaders in Virginia. They have said he has apologized. What I understand is they say that on balance he's the better person to be Attorney General. But that's up to them. But I wish there would be enough fuss of all the times that people have said they were going to put a bullet in my head right in public, in the public.
Senator, because a lot of people look at this and I think they ask the question, if this were a Republican, would you be calling for him to drop out of the race?
Absolutely not. It's directly equivalent to things that the Republican gubernatorial candidate has publicly said, not in private text. Murder is murder, and your time will come. She said that in a public meeting speaking about pro-choice activists. I've not called for her to drop out of the race. The voters began voting in Virginia on September 19th. These are fair items for voters to consider as they cast their vote. But no, we're not calling for Republicans to drop out of races. We do say apologize. You have to take account for your actions, and voters can look at the actions and look at your sincerity if you apologize. Apologies are in short supply in politics these days.
Yeah. So you mean to tell me that the same people who could not crack their lips to unendorse and to call for the top cop candidate of Virginia to drop out of the race after being caught openly fantasizing about Republicans being assassinated and their children too, right? And also police too. You mean to tell me that I'm supposed to grovel to these people, that we're supposed to come out here and say, oh, Trump, what you posted was so racist. You need to apologize because we don't want Democrats to believe that you're a racist. Yeah, nah, it's not going to happen, right? It's just not going to happen. Not for me. You're not going to see it for me. You might see it for some other people who, you know, hey, they can do what they want to do, but you're not going to see it from me. You're not going to see it from me. These people think that Trump is racist no matter what. It doesn't matter what he does. Clearly, what was posted was not something that was done on purpose, right? Clearly, it was not something that was malicious, right? And that wasn't even the intent. The intent of the video had nothing to do with what these people are upset about. But again, these are the same people who have nothing to say about, you know, liberals running around calling black people who are simply just, you know, defending the law, right? Defending our country from foreign invaders, N-words. Like, for example, we have another video that is going viral of some liberal, probably a white liberal, calling minorities the N-word.
No! Fuck are you doing? Move around! Move around! Move around! What's your name? Oh, you some fucking hoes! You some fucking hoes! And you're black! What?
To yourself, President, will you apologize for that racist video?
All right, President Trump.
The president is now insisting he did not make a mistake after that blatantly racist video was posted on his own social media account. And the president is now claiming that he did not see the part of the video that depicted former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama as apes. The president's comments coming after an avalanche of backlash over the video that was posted late Thursday night. But at first, the White House press secretary defended the president's post, saying, please stop the fake outrage. But the criticism only grew from there, including from Republican leaders who rarely disagree with President Trump on anything. For instance, Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, the Senate's only black Republican, called Trump's post the most racist thing I've seen out of this White House. Congressman Mike Turner of Ohio called the post offensive, heartbreaking, and unacceptable. Then about 12 hours after the video was posted, it was taken down. After that, a White House official told ABC News that a White House staffer erroneously made the post, but Gio, the press secretary, has not walked back her defense of the racist image, and the president is not apologizing.
All right, Selena, thank you so much for your reporting there.
Boy. So we got to continue our coverage of the fake outrage from the mainstream liberal media over President Trump posting a video that had 1 second of the video show Michelle and Barack Obama as apes and monkeys, right? And clearly,
from the clip Trump shared, the video still up. The backlash of Tim Scott. Damn Tim. Tim Scott, the only black Republican in the House, tweeted, quote, praying it was fake because it's the most racist thing I've seen out of this White House. The president should remove it. Tim, sit your ass down. Sir, this man gutted your own program for minorities who own businesses, sir. This is the most racist thing you have seen. Put it back up again. This is the first time Tim has said something since the extreme racism of Trump. And he goes on record and says, praying it was fake. Praying? Sir, you're a United States senator. How about you call somebody? How about you demand something? How about you act as if you are an elected representative? The preacher can pray, but you were elected to do. Ben Rhodes, former speechwriter for Obama, wrote, let it haunt Trump and his racist followers that future Americans will embrace the Obamas as beloved figures while studying him as a stain on our history. End quote. Gavin Newsom weighed in on the matter. Disgusting behavior by the president. Every single Republican must denounce this now. CNN White House correspondent Ms. Treen reported, just broke the news that the post had been taken down. Treen quoted a senior Trump administrator as saying, quote, a White House staffer erroneously made the post. It has been taken down. The post was up for 12 hours. Ms. Tree noted. Politico's West Wing playbook scribe, Sophia Kai, had additional reporting from my own White House source saying, quote, President Trump did not see the video, legitimately didn't. A staffer posted it. Sophia added that, quote, only a small handful of staffers have access to Trump's Truth Social account.
I mean, think of it. We're years ahead of schedule. We have thousands and thousands of businesses being built right now. So Joe Biden had no clue. If Joe Biden were elected or if Kamala were elected, we wouldn't have a country right now.
You won the election because of minority voters. Does this post maybe hurt Republicans with, black voters after the...
I think, look, we did criminal justice reform. I did the historically black colleges and universities. I got them funded. Nobody has been, and that's why I got the highest vote with male black voters that they've seen in many, many decades. I've done great with them. Black voters have been great to me. I've been great to them. Black voters have been great to me. I've been great to them. And I am, by the way, the least racist president you've had in a long time, as far as I'm concerned. We have, I've had a great relation. Think of what I've done. Criminal justice reform. Nobody else could do it. Obama couldn't do it. Nobody could do it. Clinton couldn't do it. They actually went the other way. They went into a very bad thing for African-American people, black people. They went to it. They did very.
Yeah, the donkey. She's an ass. Crazy. Wow. Oh, they got Joe Monkey too.
I did very good things, but criminal justice reform, and then I funded the universities, which nobody else was willing to do. They were going every year. They'd come back to Washington and they'd be begging for money, begging. I got to be friendly with some of the heads of the schools, and they would come back and they would literally tell me they're forcing us to beg. I'm the one that got them long-term financing and more than they were looking for. So there's nobody that's done more. And I think maybe more than anything else was criminal justice reform. They've been trying to get it for years, and I'm the one that got it done. So nobody can tell me about that. That somebody posts, a staffer, posts, and I knew it was all about. If you take a look at that and see the whole thing, it was a small section at the very end, but that was about fraudulent elections, which we have a lot of them. We're going to get it stopped, and I liked the beginning. I saw it and just passed it on. And I guess probably nobody reviewed the end of it because what I saw at the beginning was really, really strong. It was about fraudulent elections. And anytime I see that stuff and when it's credible, you put it up. But somebody slipped and missed a very small part. Now, by the way, again, the takeoff one, I guess, I didn't do it, by the way. This was done by somebody else. This was a retruth. That was not done by us. But that was a very strong truth. There was a very strong statement made about the fraudulent elections in a certain part of our country, which are really bad.
President, at the very least, do you condemn the racist parts of the video?
Of course I do. Yeah.
The Dow and S&P
was posted by a staffer. I mean, there's been a bunch of stories that came out. Carolyn Levitt gave us, Carolyn Levitt gave her own explanation of it. Obviously, MAGA were all over social media giving various explanations of what Trump was trying to say. Nevertheless, Trump ultimately did chime in himself and explain what the hell that was we were looking at. I suppose in some detail, not totally.
Republicans are calling on you to apologize for that post. Is that something you're going to do?
No, I didn't make a mistake. I looked at the beginning of it. It was fine. They had that one post, and I guess it was a takeoff. By the way, a lot of people covered. If you look at where it came from, I guess it was a takeoff of The Lion King. I am, by the way, the least racist president you've had in a long time, as far as I'm concerned.
What does that mean by the least racist? I mean, look, if I say, the least of something, that doesn't mean you're excluded from it. Why is he calling himself the least racist? I gotta get some MAG on here to explain that, because I don't know what the term "the least racist" mean.
Smith, I'm usually coming at you every Wednesday night from 6 to 8 p.m. over the airwaves of Sirius XM, depicting the first black president in United States history and the first black first lady in United States history as apes, monkeys. In the year 2026, that has happened. Now, before I go into it, let me say this. The White House says that it wasn't the president's fault. Even though the video has been removed from the president's Truth Social account, they are pointing the finger of blame to a White House staffer who they say erroneously made the post, and it has been taken down. Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary for the White House, initially came out defending it by saying it apparently was AI generated. It was an AI generated clip portraying Barack and Michelle Obama as apes. In a statement sent to Deadline, the White House press secretary said, quote, "This is from an internet meme video depicting President Trump as the king of the jungle and Democrats as characters from The Lion King."